The Prime Minister told Brussels to get it into their heads that the UK is a single country in a fiery statement amid continued anger at the implementation of the Northern Ireland Protocol. Threatening to tear up the Brexit deal, he added he would not hesitate to invoke Article 16 of the Protocol, suspending the terms of the agreement, if the EU failed to change its position on the issue. The remarks are likely to inflame tensions in what were already strained relations between the UK and Brussels. At the sidelines of the G7 summit in Cornwall this morning, Mr. Johnson held separate meetings with French President Emmanuel Macron, German Chancellor Angela Merkel and the EU's Ursula von der Leyen and Charles Michel. The talks with the European Commission President and European Council President are understood to have focused almost entirely on the consequences of the protocol since the start of the year. The EU has accused the UK of failing to properly implement the terms of the agreement by unilaterally suspending customs checks on some goods. The protocol effectively keeps Northern Ireland in the European single market in order to avoid a hard border with Ireland, meaning a trade barrier in the Irish Sea for goods crossing from Great Britain. Meanwhile, the UK has blamed the EU for forcing it to take action due to being unfair in its implementation of the deal. I think that the treaty I signed, is perfectly reasonable. I don't think that the interpretation or application of the protocol is sensible or pragmatic, Mr. Johnson told Sky News. I think the protocol can work if it's sensibly applied, but at the moment it's not just a question of chilled meats or sausages, there are all kinds of impediments being constructed, and we need to sort it out. At the end of the month, Britain is meant to enforce customs checks on the transport of chilled foods such as sausages from Britain to Northern Ireland under the terms of the protocol. The Prime Minister has previously hit out at the paperwork, describing it as unnecessary and accusing the EU of being deliberately provocative in the way it is enforcing customs checks. This afternoon he said he was willing to take action to suspend the terms of the deal unless Brussels changed its approach. He said, I think if the protocol continues to be applied in this way then we will obviously not hesitate to invoke Article 16 as I've said before, and don't forget the EU themselves invoked Article 16 in January to disapply the protocol so they could stop the movement of vaccines from the EU to the UK. At the start of the year, the European Commission announced it was invoking Article 16 to impose a border between Northern Ireland and the Republic. It said the measure was necessary to stop coronavirus jabs moving across the border. The decision was reversed just 4 hours later after outcry from both the UK and the Irish government. Mr. Johnson's threat to similarly invoke Article 16 will spark concern in Brussels that the UK could take the nuclear option if a solution to the problems caused by the protocol is not found. An EU official said the meeting between the Prime Minister and Ms von der Leyen and Mr. Michel specifically spoke about how the rhetoric needs to be toned down in talks. Speaking after the talks, the European Commission President stood firm in demanding the full implementation of the protocol. Both sides must implement what we agreed on. There is complete EU unity on this, she said. The Good Friday Agreement and peace on the island of Ireland are paramount. Mr. Macron pressed the Prime Minister on Brexit just an hour before Ms von der Leyen's meeting. The President told Boris Johnson there needed to be a reset of the Franco-British relationship, a source, who spoke on condition of anonymity, said. This can happen provided that he keeps his word with the Europeans.